Surprise! I'm not done with the IKEA greenhouse cabinet like I said I would be by the next time we saw each other. That process has proven to take a lot longer than I anticipated. I did a lot of research. I thought I was really prepared, but as I started putting things together, I had to get other things to amend it and customize how I wanted to. Hopefully that video will be done very soon. Of course, I need to actually complete the cabinet first, but I am committed to doing that because I have a pile of like all of the things that I still need to add to the cabinet just sitting in the middle of my floor right next to me, and I can't stand the mess anymore. But for today, I have some exciting new plans to share with you, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm Claudia, by the way. Welcome, so glad you're here. I imported some more plants. Now let's be real, I have no business importing or getting any more plants of any sort, especially this time of year. But the gloomy days just really are motivating to bring in more greenery and more life into my space. And I have started to downsize my collection a little bit just from plants that I'm not super in love with anymore, which opens doors for other plants that I have been in love with. These plants came all the way from Indonesia. I got to pick 2 of the plants, and then I believe there are 6 total here. So there's 4 others. I don't know what they are, so we'll find out together. The plants were in transit for 5 days, but then they were held at USDA Customs for another good 5 or 6 days. And I was actually surprised at how hands-on the USDA is. They called me several times just to I feel like chat about my package. They wanted to let me know that my green labels were placed on the wrong side of the box, but it's okay, don't worry. And yeah, it was very strange. I think like when you're dealing with anything government, it's like such a hassle and it's going to take a really long time. 9 out of 10 times you can't even really talk to a real person. But I got to know John pretty well. So the reason I had to deal with customs is, I assume, because I provided an import permit. I already had it for my previous import, and they said that it, helps speed up the customs process, so I went ahead and sent it over. But now I'm wondering if I wouldn't have sent it, if this would have just arrived sooner. If you didn't see my previous import videos, I do have a playlist on those imports. It was my very first import. I shared everything about it, and I'll link it on the screen and also in the description down below if you want to check it out. But I feel like I kind of know what to expect this time. So in this video, I just really want to show you the plants. I want to show you what the roots look like, and then I'll let you know how I'm going to be acclimating them to my space. So these boxes are typically very challenging to open. You just kind of have to rip them apart. So don't judge me. Look how much packaging upon tape, upon layers. It feels a little moist, like the cardboard, so hopefully that's promising. At some point I get nervous of cutting too much because the plants are in there, obviously. Here we go. It actually looks like the USDA for sure opened this up and inspected some of the plants, because one is completely unwrapped, just hanging out in there. So we'll start with that one. And this is, ooh, I'm gonna have to write it in the screen. Oh no. It's quite damaged. This is a Hoya, and look how pretty. But again, they opened this up. This is ripped open. This is all dry. potentially so beautiful. That's not an exciting way to start, huh? Okay, let's go to the next one. I don't have any of these, so this is potentially really exciting. Ooh, and this one looks much better. There's even a flower on it. This is an Aglaonema Red Army. I don't have any Aglaonemas, so I am excited to add this. And do you see the bloom? This one was also opened up. I'm gonna have to put a call in with John and ask him what the F. Oh, they got to all of them, honestly. Look at, this is supposed to be the wrapper of this one. I don't even know what it is now. And it looks awful. I think it's an anthurium. Look at this. Look at this. And look at this. The roots look healthy, so maybe I could bring it back, but this is disappointing. Okay, this is the one that I picked. And they didn't mess with this one. This is a Philodendron pelopodoides. So it's like a fancy tortum, a little just, yeah, daintier, fancier. The root ball is intact. And it looks like I have 3 plants, or at least 3 growth points. I'm excited to look at these roots. I think we're going back into more massacre situation. Oh, I'm excited about this one. It looks big. Oh, I don't even know what to say. This is like just such a bummer. This is supposed to be such a beautiful plant, and it is not. They also didn't mess with this root ball, but it wasn't like really packaged nicely. This is an Alocasia frydek, variegated, and I love the size. I feel like I can see some roots and they look a little healthy. So it looks like it had some really nice variegation. Look at these 2 leaves. I hope that I can save this plant. Sorry, the sun just started hitting my face, so I'm gonna move a little. Just breathe. It's okay. How many was that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's one more. I'm not positive what this is. It looks like a Philodendron Florida, maybe, violin. That's a nice looking leaf. It looks like it has nice roots. There's a new leaf coming in. Definitely not the worst looking by any means. This and the pelopodoides are probably the ones that look the best. I think let's just take a look at the roots for now and we'll call it. I don't mean to really bring the mood down here. It's just disappointing, you know. I was expecting obviously like new plants, and now they're going to need a rehab beyond what I was expecting, or maybe not, I will see. But I'm actually, you know, I'm bummed at the way that this plant looks, but the roots look incredible. So I have high hopes that I can bring this frydek back. It is shedding some of its roots, but that's completely normal. I'm not sure, obviously, what they had this rooted in before. But in general, these roots actually look really nice and healthy. So again, bummer that this is what's happening, but I think I'll be able to bring this back. And then also, obviously, this is a risk that we take when we have plants shipped, period. Like, anything can happen. One time I had a plant shipped from Florida and UPS broke the box or something and the poor plant arrived in shambles, and that was, you know, all domestic. So it is a risk that we take. I think that the important part is that we purchase from reputable sellers that are going to assist and help make it right. And obviously they should have some kind of insurance that covers things like this. So, okay, this is the one I chose, Philodendron palipodoides. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And I'm not really seeing any roots. There's like very tiny, fragile roots. But mostly this is like not really rooted. This is going to need to obviously root, but the cutting looks healthy and the plant looks happy, to be honest. So I'm excited. This Aglaonema. The roots look really healthy on this one already. I can see them through the plastic wrap. So I'm hopeful. Yeah, this has super healthy roots. So here are these roots, super healthy. Again, like this leaf is awful. This leaf is not so great, but it is blooming. I love blooming plants. And the two, I mean, this leaf is not perfect, but this one looks pretty good. So hopefully it can come back. I don't have a lot of experience with anthuriums to begin with, so receiving one that's like rehab status makes me really nervous. Two of the leaves look good, the rest don't. But the roots again look really healthy. So this poor thing, I don't even know what to do with this. This thing's just falling apart. The roots are very, very fragile and they feel really dry. The little baggie they came in was completely ripped open. The leaves honestly look awful. This plant looks really, really pitiful. I don't even know. And as I'm going through, oh, this was a second cutting also. Same kind of thing with the roots. The leaf is maybe healthy. I don't really know what these are supposed to look like when they're young or when they're new leaves. As I'm doing all of this, I'm realizing I'm not even inspecting for pests. I got so distracted by the situation, but that's okay. I always quarantine any new plants. So if there were, I'm not commingling them with anyone. This one looks like it might be okay. Oh, and it has pink or reddish roots, just like the pink princess. I'll show you once I get some of the moss off. This is a very, wow, very nice root system. See how they look just like the pink princess. This is a pretty plant, very different. I don't have anything like this. Okay, well, it looks like the Hoya is the only one that doesn't really have roots. So I'm going to go ahead and place that one in perlite right away, and hopefully it'll root. I mean, oh, those leaves look so pitiful. The rest of them are not in the best shape per se, except for I'm so glad that the one I picked, the Philodendron palipodoides, looks good and has a good root system. I mean, they all really do, to be honest. So even though the leaves aren't great, new ones will grow back. So I'm thinking I'm just going to place all of them and water to hydrate. It's also gonna help get rid of some of the extra moss that might be lingering in the roots. And yeah, I'll put them in a bin with a lid so that hopefully they can get a little bit extra humidity while they recover. And I am going to isolate them away from any of my other plants, and I'll probably check back in about a week or so and see how they're doing. At that point, I might transfer all, if not most, to perlite. If the alocasia fritick is doing well, then I'll go ahead and just transfer that straight to pon. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I could be wrong, but like I said, I am holding John at USDA completely responsible for this massacre. Thanks so much for hanging out with me and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and or found it entertaining. Please stay tuned. I will definitely know in the screen and down below what the vendor said as far as how the plants arrived. Again, I strongly believe this was USDA's fault, but I will of course keep you updated on their rehab and what I continue to do and how they do, because I do love that part of it, and I was really excited to do this again and monitor the plants a little closer and, you know, just see how they did. Thank you again so much, and I'll see you very soon, hopefully next with the greenhouse cabinet setup.